Right.
We are live. I am Spencer Lazar. I'm alongside here, not alongside, but over the internet. I am with Mike Jasper. Man, you just had a Muay Thai fight a week and a half ago. You're right back in it August 8th for NFA. You kind of your home grounds there. You've had a number of dominant performances in that arena. Talk about, first off, I guess, this Muay Thai fight that you just went through.
Yeah, man. I fought, about a week and a half ago with WCK against a tough opponent. Jason Caldwell. The guy's got, a handful of experience. And it was a good fight. The guy's a solid opponent. Ended up getting the decision. He's a unanimous decision, but it was a good fight. And overall, just kind of it was just a great learning experience. And I think it'll definitely help me out as far as MMA and being in the cage and whatnot.
Yeah, I mean, a guy like you like to throw heavy hands, and just be in control offensively in general. It seems like, what are the differences for you, training for and then getting in there in a Muay Thai fight as opposed to MMA?
I mean, my training really kind of stays the same, because I like to, I do, like you said, I like to work stand up a lot, and that's my style of game. I like to be standing, which I'm also comfortable being on the ground as well. I mean, I'm definitely not a one-sided fighter, but um, my training really didn't change. I kept doing my ground game. I kept doing everything, knowing that I had this fight coming up, and plus. I think MMA training compared to just standard Muay Thai is a lot different, and MMA training helps your cardio, I mean, through the roof. So I thought that my cardio in the fight was great. And if you sat there and watched some of the fights, some of those guys were just out of shape, and I think that's because of keeping that MMA training going and whatnot. But it was a fun experience, man. I enjoyed it. I'll definitely do another one.
The differences between, you dropped this guy a few times, but differences for you punching maybe with gloves, bigger gloves as opposed to the small MMA gloves. Is it easier to sneak things in? I mean, talk about defensively and offensively, any differences that you kind of look at?
Yeah, I mean they're bigger gloves, but these things are still tiny, man. They look like those little sports chalet bag gloves. They're I got them on my hands and I was like, all right, we can do some damage with these things. But yeah, I mean it's a lot easier to block kicks and stuff when you're compared to your MMA gloves and you got these little 4 ounces on and whatnot. But it's the whole deal is with me was sitting there working on my elbows and all that stuff, and it was a good experience because I mean, it is my favorite thing to do is to stand up, but it also is the area that I think I need to improve on the most, because the strikers in MMA are evolving, and I think that I need to do whatever it takes to keep evolving myself instead of staying stagnant.
Nice. Um, your opponent, Nick Barnes, is undefeated, 7-0. All of his fights, though, come in XFS and Gladiator Challenge. I was looking at the records of these guys. No real quality wins at all. Talk about what you expect from him, though, and if that gives you a leg up, knowing you've been in there with some really tough guys. You went through the Ultimate Fighter there a little bit, and whatnot.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, he has fought for pretty much all one organization for the most part, and whether it's the quality of opponents, I mean, it kind of is what it is. At the end of the day, he's winning his fights, and that's what's most important. But I mean, he's a grinder, and he's got a lot of heart. I know he's a good wrestler, and I mean that's his deal. He likes to take guys down. A couple punches, get in for the double, single, whatever it is, and then try to take your back, and he goes for the RNC. But I mean, he's a grinder, and the thing is, I know I'm gonna have to, it's probably gonna be a long, long fight, and I'm gonna outwork this cat. I mean, my stand up, I think, is far more superior than this guy's, and it's no disrespect to him. I just, that's just the way I think, and if I put my hands on him, it's gonna be a good night.
Talk about fighting and Woodland Hills at the Marriott again for you, a place where you've had a ton of support. I'm sure it'll be no different this time with your large following that you bring out there.
Yeah, man. I mean, to be honest, I've been dreaming for these promotions to start throwing some more local fights in Ventura County area, and just no one's really taking it over, which kind of for us local fighters is unfortunate, but it is what it is. So when I get a fight like this, it's like 30 minutes from my hometown, and I'm stoked. with the amount of people that come out. They pay good money to come out and see these fights. They aren't cheap, and it's they come out and support me every time I'm local. And last time I was there and fought for NFA, I sold like 175 tickets, and this time I think it's going to be around the same. And the support's been awesome, man. Like I said, it's just they come out, and, they give you that little extra drive, and it's good to hear them cheer when you get that hand raised.
I'm definitely excited to be calling the fights there, cage side, man. Talk about your training up there and what you've been doing and where you've been working. I know you're still at Bosses up there.
Yeah, I've been kind of spreading out a little bit. I've been doing lot of striking with my buddy James Singler over at Agora, and then doing my jujitsu and some cage work over at Elite, and then a lot of sparring and whatnot, and working with my wrestling and cage work with Jamie Tony over at West Coast Jiu Jitsu. He's helping out over there, so he's been helping me out a lot. And between him and James and my jiu-jitsu coach, Rodrigo, it's kind of just piecing all three of them together and trying to make one solid little camp.
Definitely a great group of guys there. Talk about for you. What the heck was I going to say? Talk about. Gosh darn it! I had a great question again there, and I'm going to have to come back to it. Talk about what your goals are moving forward in the sport. It's been a road for you that has been a little bit frustrating with the Ultimate Fighter, but you came down. I guess what I was alluding to, that's what it was. It was weight. So, like, you fought against bigger guys and really maybe not even quite to that point where maybe you really could have done some damage on the show, on the Ultimate Fighter show anyway. But talk about the weight difference coming down and how your body's feeling comfortable now at 170 pounds.
Yeah, this is going to be my third fight at 170, and I'm getting more and more comfortable. The weight cut it's coming along nice, and it's just learning by trial through error. I mean, like the first time it was tough, but and now it's coming off. And what really helped, actually, to be honest, is I just fought a fight, so I was in shape, ready to go, and I had lost a bunch of weight already. Not all the way down to 70, but I got down to 80. So it made me stay in check, 3 weeks out, and yes, it's coming on fine. I got no problem with it.
Much weight then for the Muay Thai fight. So you're not back-to-back cutting big weights. You had your weight down for that one, and now you just cut the remaining bit.
Yeah, so I mean, I got down to 180. Obviously one night I enjoyed myself and had a cheeseburger and whatnot, but then got right back on track on the diet and everything, and it's coming along well. It'll be a nice, easy last-minute cut for the last few pounds, but my first 16 fights or 14, no, 15 fights were at 185, and what really opened my eyes is like what you're talking about earlier with that little stint in the Ultimate Fighter is when I went there, we were all weighing in. I was with these guys that were 6'1" to 6'4", and they all got on the scale at 220 plus, and that really opened my eyes. Like, okay, these are the quality opponents that eventually might make it into the UFC, and this is what they're walking at. And to me, that's just not who I am. I could eat pizza and drink beer all day long, and I won't get past 195. So it's like for me, I was a tiny 185er as it is, and height isn't on my side like those guys have. So my coach James Tony, he had told me way back in the day, you're gonna go to 70, and I kept fighting it. I was like, no, man, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do that cut. But then, like I said, as I learned trial by error and I figured it out, I used the Dolce diet. I mean, the 3 weeks to shredded deal, and I can't say enough about that stuff. I mean, it's only a couple pages long, but the thing where it's like a Bible, it works, tremendously. So, yeah, I mean, I feel good, man. As long as you hydrate up afterwards and do everything right, I mean, it's not a problem for me.
What are your goals for the rest of this year and moving into 2015?
I mean, I was stagnant for a while, and then I just had that Muay Thai fight, get this one, get my W, and then I would like to fight again before the year's over, definitely. Before the holiday starts, I'm aiming kind of for a November time. I'd like to get back in there and fight, no matter where it's at. Legacy was a spot that I want to get back to. I think that I kind of had just a gun shy moment out there that if I would have put together one more round, I would have won that fight. It was a split decision. I just had a bad first round, and I like the organization. So I mean, but any organizations that comes through, definitely want to step up though, whether it be RFA, whether it be Legacy, or anything. I want to start moving up, and let's start getting a little more serious here.
Right on, man. Well, definitely, wish you the best of luck in that hunt, and I have no doubts that you'll get there, man. You're a hard worker and always been a, big ticket seller. So I think RFA in LA sometime, that'd be a great home for you.
No, yeah, exactly. And I mean, everybody knows there's no secret, between RFA and the ties to the UFC. It's kind of like a small little feeder show for them. So I think that would be a great chance for me to, sell some tickets and also, fight some quality opponents, get some TV time, and get that name out there a little bit.
Well, what's the prediction, man? How's it going to go down August 8th, Woodland Hills?
Man, to be honest, I really think if I put my hands on him, it's going to be a good, solid KO finish. I think that if I can test that shin. I've watched it before. He's some people that put their hands on him. I mean, he can go down. So I believe that I'm going to do the same exact thing. But I'm going to go with my traditional, man. Some good old ground and pound. If I get my hands on him and then finish the fight on the ground, hopefully get some elbows, make it work, and then I usually end up straddling the cage, looking down at you guys. So that's what's going to happen. Get that hand raised.
All right, that's it. Can't wait to see it, and can't wait to commentate for that fight. Get your tickets, NFAMMA.com. Follow Stu Jasper, Mike Jasper. He's on Twitter. Stu Jasper MMA, right?
Yeah, Stu Jasper MMA on Twitter and Instagram.
There you have it. All right, man. I'll follow you on Instagram right now. Mike Jasper, come out and support your local fighters. August 8th, Southern California, NFAMMA.com. Talk to you soon, man. I'll see you on fight night, if not on weigh-ins.
Right on. See you, man.